acknowledge also the presence here of Councillor Pampos Caralambos, who would also like to ask a question. Please.
Thank you. My question, there are two parts to my question. The first part is about the enforcement of the judgment. You mentioned European Union countries, but is the judgment also enforceable in non-European Union countries that have signed the Hague Convention? And the second part of the question is, do the panel have any other ideas about using the law in imaginative ways? I'm thinking about freedom of movement of goods, to use the law in more imaginative ways, for instance about free movement of goods, things like shipping or travel, those sorts of things. Do you have any ideas as to how the law can be used in the future? I have people in my area who are interested in bringing an action similar to the Apostolides case, and I may well take your details afterwards.
Thank you, Pablo. I must admit to you that reading the press release of the 28th of April and seeing how many, God knows how many languages are used to give the title to this court. In Greek, it's called Δικαστήριο των Ευρωπαϊκών Κοινοτήτων, the English Court of Justice of the European Communities. And there is no specific reference to the European Union, and I value your question.
Okay, I'd like to answer that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that was something that I had in my mind, okay, and my instinctive reaction way back would be that no, this would only be applicable to European countries. But I think there might be a way around that, in the sense that if we manage to have the judgment registered in the United Kingdom or somewhere else within the Union, then that judgment becomes a judgment of the United Kingdom, say. Okay, and then one could check and see whether the United Kingdom has treaties for the reciprocal enforcement of judgments, say with Turkey or the States or other countries, and we can use Europe as a stepping stone towards the States or someone else. But obviously this has not been tried, and I cannot really give you a definite answer, but I think it will be worth looking into it. In a lot of ways, yes, I thought I covered that at the beginning. Yes, this judgment, the ECJ judgment, even though we're using it now for a property case, it opens the way for all sorts of actions and all sorts of subject matters.
Thank you. Nick, just a moment, please.
Yeah, Bob, in response to your point about imaginative methods, in England there is a criminal offence of conspiracy to defraud. It's one that it's known very, very well. And for a long time now I've been looking at the possibility of prosecuting individuals who together conspire to commit fraud on the British public. If, for example, an estate agency tells people that Greek Cypriots have exchanged title deeds with Turkish Cypriots, that's a lie, that's a fraud. If they do it with another person, that's conspiracy. That gets you into prison for a long, long time. Now, of course, it's going to be hard to get the Crown Prosecution Service or Training Standards to do it, but in the UK, there is this very strange provision, which most countries don't have, and this is the right to bring a private prosecution. In the media world, there are lots of private prosecutions for piracy, for example. Personally, I've been involved in over 100, so I know they work. We should be bringing private prosecutions against those individuals, estate agents, marketing companies, exhibitors who are conspiring to defraud and stealing the property of the people in this room. That's what we should be doing, but it costs money.
Thank you. There's a lady on the 5th row over here, please.
My name's Maria Tofridis. I'd like to bring the case of temporary title deeds to light. whereby in Famagusta, for example, temporary title deeds were issued because the registry is in the occupied area, and these have been bought and sold. Now, what would be the implications of the Apostolides case for a case where a temporary title deed was issued following allegedly fraudulent declarations and then occupied by allegedly bona fide buyers? Can we apply the Orams Apostolides case to this situation, whereby supposedly the land has been bought by bona fide buyers, but on the basis of temporary title deeds, if the true owner appears with the original title deed, and I'm speaking about a true owner that lives abroad and was not aware that this happened?
Sorry, you mean about properties which are in the occupied north or in the
Republic of Cyprus.
Okay.
In the Republic of Cyprus.
Okay, the Apostolides, yeah. I can, yeah.
Temporary title deeds have been issued, and it actually says Prosolinos Idlos, because the original registrar is in Famagusta, for example, and I'm speaking of areas of Paladini where much land has been bought and sold on the basis of temporary title deeds issued following declarations. What would be the case if the true owner appears and the land has since been sold on to
Okay, yeah.
those
The Apostolides case has nothing to do with that sort of thing, but if there's a claim by a third party, say someone you call the original owner or the true owner, that person should take the matter with the courts of the Republic of Cyprus, and whatever is the outcome, whatever the judgment is, then yes, that judgment will be enforceable throughout Europe.
But this is nothing to do
It's got nothing
with
to do with Apostolides.
Apostolides or Turkish and Greek.
People are saying they're bona fide buyers and they've issued title deeds from the Republic, just like the Orams are saying they're bona fide buyers, it's not our problem. And yet the basis is a temporary title deed produced purely by declaration.
Okay, when it comes to the purchase of land, the bona fide argument does not come into play. It's totally irrelevant.
So bad title is bad title.
A bad title is bad title.
And also there are many other issues of bad titles in Cyprus, as we know. There has been, this has been quite an issue for some time, yes.